As more and more people get into low content publishing, it is more and more crucial to pay special attention to every single part of the process. What worked last year or the year before may not get you very far in today's changing low content publishing landscape. Now, competition has increased dramatically over the last couple of years, and even though a lot of this competition is just producing really low quality books, the fact of the matter is those books clog up the system and make it really hard for those of us that are producing high quality books to get our books seen in front of paying customers. So I think in 2021, the biggest challenge, the biggest hurdle to overcome is getting our high quality books through the clutter and in front of as many eyeballs as possible. Now, there's no magic bullet here. It's going to be a combination of various efforts. Also, another thing to keep in mind is while the landscape is constantly changing, I think the main driving principle remains the same. It is all about creating unique, high quality books that real customers are already actively searching for. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and dive into the 5 steps to low content publishing success in 2021. If you're new here, my name is Rachel Harrison-Sund, and I help people to generate passive income selling journals, planners, notebooks, and more on the Kindle Direct publishing platform. If that sounds interesting to you, then subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to hit the bell so that you can be notified every time I put out one of these videos, which is each and every Monday. Now, the first step is to master your mindset. Mindset really is everything here. This is a long game, so you really do have to be prepared for it to be a long game. It's going to take persistence, it's going to take patience, and it's going to take a willingness to make a lot of mistakes and fail your way towards success. Now, if you're someone who really hates uncertainty, if you have a negative mindset, if you are a perfectionist, if you're someone who just really doesn't believe in yourself or believe in your ability to really make a go out of this business model, then this probably isn't going to be for you. You really are going to have to have a strong mindset in order to experience some success. Now, if a couple of those things are standing out to you, like you are a little bit of a perfectionist, or you tend to procrastinate a little bit, that's fine, but just know that you are going to have to actively work on those things in order to experience success with this business model over the long haul. Now, another thing I just want to briefly touch on here is I don't recommend low content publishing as being your primary source of income. If it is your primary source of income, that's really going to affect your mindset. You're going to be coming at this from a place of desperation, and you're not going to be able to relax and sort of get comfortable as you're learning and have that mindset of patience that's going to really allow you to just settle in, learn, and build slowly over time. And I think that is going to be one of the biggest keys to success, is having that patience and just knowing, like I said, it's a long game and you're kind of going to have to settle in, make some mistakes, and build slowly over the long haul. So I think that's going to be very difficult if you're relying on this as a primary source of income and you're just starting out and you don't know how you're going to pay rent or put food on the table this month. So I really recommend this as being a side gig if you've already got all your bases covered money-wise, or as one stream of income out of several. So step number 2 is to build a rock solid foundation. And there are 5 different parts to this. The first one being you've got to create unique content. So let's just go ahead and forget all about no content. You know, gone are the days where you could just upload a never-ending catalog of line journals and expect the sales to just keep rolling in month after month. You really got to focus on offering value, and you do that by creating unique content. You've got to create unique content that is geared toward specific audiences. You've got to come up with some new ideas, or you've got to come up with some fresh takes on older ideas that serve new and underserved audiences. The next part of this is through thorough keyword research. So you really can't half-ass this. You've really got to go after as low competition as you can get, paired with the highest possible search volume. And you've got to have proper assignment of your keywords. So we're talking about title, subtitle, series title, and all of your back-end keywords. Now, it is possible to do this manually, but you're going to uncover many, many more underserved keywords and lower competition keywords if you are using software. I like to use Publisher Rocket. There's a bunch of different ones out there. If you want to check out Publisher Rocket, I will leave a link to that in the description below. But these days, it's just really going to save you a lot more time, and it's going to allow you to come up with a much longer list of keywords than you would be able to find manually on your own in a much shorter amount of time. The other great thing about Publisher Rocket is it allows you to research categories to add your book into as well. So that's also really valuable. The third part of this is to create a visually appealing design. Now, if you don't have an eye for design, you're going to have to get someone else on board who does. Design matters. It's really, really important. So if you're not, if this isn't a strong suit of yours, you're going to need some help, whether that's getting a friend on board to just take a look at things for you, or just outsourcing it entirely if this just isn't in your wheelhouse. Even if you are fairly good at design, you're going to want to keep up on that and keep trying to build your skills. So just keep consuming really great design, keep practicing, and keep trying to get better and better at it. Remember, people really do judge a book by its cover, so you've got to get this right. The fourth part is flawless metadata. So you're going to want a compelling description, one that's absolutely 1000% free of spelling and grammatical errors, and you want to make sure it's formatted nicely using HTML. And again, you're going to want properly assigned keywords, and you're going to want to choose lower competition categories. The next thing is competitive pricing. So you want to look at other books in your niche, and you want to ensure that you're within an appropriate range. You might consider a lower price to start, and maybe you raise the price by $1 once things get going. You don't have to do this, but it is a tactic some people use, and it can be very effective at just getting the ball rolling, getting a few sales under your belt, maybe even getting a few reviews, and then you can up that price and increase your royalty. One of the main things to remember is to just don't price your book several dollars above the average, unless you've got an established brand that already has some credibility and you know that people are going to be willing to pay that higher price point for your book. Now, my course, Low Content Profits Academy, covers all of those foundational principles that I've just talked about. You can check out a link to that in the description below. The third thing to do is be mindful of your marketing. So the first part of this is to build an email list. Building an email list is the easiest way to get going with marketing, and it is the freest way to get going with marketing. Now, building an email list, this is going to allow you to create a base of recurring customers. Now, you really want to build a relationship with your customers and promote directly to those who have already purchased one of your books and are likely to purchase again. Now, if you've got a highly engaged email list, this is also going to help you to generate reviews much more quickly. So if you're unsure of how to get an email list going or how to use one to generate ethical reviews, I cover all of this at length in my course, Low Content Profits Academy. And again, I've left a link to that down below. The second thing is to use ads wisely. So I recommend only introducing ads once you have tackled everything else that I've already mentioned in this video. And I think you should start small. So start with one book that has already proven itself with a few sales. Once you get a little bit more experienced and you have a better sense of what sells and what doesn't, then you're going to be able to start running ads right out of the gate. But initially, if you're just starting out, you probably are going to lose money in the beginning until you get the hang of ads. So just keep in mind, keep a figure in mind and be very comfortable with losing that money if you have to. Now, if you're wondering how to use ads effectively on Amazon, then I recommend Dave Chesson's free course. He's got a free Amazon ads course, and I've left a link to that in the description below as well. All right, finally, don't waste time on websites and social media in the beginning. Websites and social media are probably the least useful way to generate sales in the beginning of things. Now, websites require traffic to be useful. So if you come up with a website, you're going to need to find a way to direct traffic to that website. Otherwise, it kind of just sits there and it's not really doing anything. Social media like Facebook or Instagram could be useful, but one of the things that makes it not as useful is that it's really impossible to track where your sales from Amazon are coming from. So you're really going to have a difficult time knowing what's working and what isn't. Now, I've heard from a few people that they've used Pinterest to great effect. I personally haven't tried that, but if that's an avenue that you'd like to try, I know that some people have had some success with that. Now, the only instance I would sort of recommend going gung-ho with your website and your social media is if you already have a brand and an online presence that your low content books tie in nicely to, then you can use those already existing channels to leverage yourself in the low content publishing space. For those that are just starting out and you don't have any brand or a website in existence or any sort of online presence, then I would just sort of forego these things for now. And once you've got the first couple of parts to your marketing plan in place, then maybe look at introducing something like Pinterest or maybe Instagram or something like that. All right, so briefly, just tell me, what do your current marketing efforts for your low content books look like? Are you running ads? Do you have a website? Do you use social media? Are you having success without any marketing at all? Let me know in the comments below. Step 4 is to nurture your existing assets. You don't want to publish your books and then just completely forget about them. You want to be performing regular health checks on your books that have performed well for you in the past. And you can do this through Author Central by tracking your bestsellers ranking. So you go into Author Central and you can see your bestsellers ranking over time on a graph. And if you see that rank start to decline, then that might be a good time for you to take stock of your keywords, do that keyword research again, and maybe swap some of them out or swap out your categories or something like that. You can also promote these older books to your email list to try and revive some sales or generate some further reviews that will in turn help to revive your sales. What you don't want is one of those people that just has to keep on pumping out thousands and thousands of books that only sell 1 or 2 copies. This is not passive income. This is something that you're just going to have to keep doing at volume over and over and over again. If you take care of the assets that you have already created and do these little health checks every once in a while and keep them going, then those are the books that are going to continue to earn money month after month after month after month. You can afford to step away and not publish for a little while. And, that really is what passive income is. The final step is to be consistent with your efforts. Like I said at the top, this is a long game. There really are no shortcuts. So consistency is going to be key. You're going to have to show up regularly. I suggest creating a publishing schedule that works for you and your existing life. Put that time into your calendar because what gets scheduled gets done. And then you're just going to have to show up, settle in, get patient, and just keep plugging away over time and let this build slowly over time. Slow and steady really does win the race. Now, others doing this, they are going to get impatient and they're going to quit. But if you let frustration get the better of you and become impatient and quit, you are cutting off all avenues to success through this business model. If you start today and just keep going little by little, and again, letting it build slowly over time, you are going to get there eventually. Now, I've thrown this quote at you 100 times, but I'm going to say it again. Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. And that is from R. Collier. All right, so to recap, master your mindset, build your foundation, be mindful with your marketing, nurture your existing assets, and be consistent with your efforts. Following these 5 steps is going to have you well on your way to experiencing low content publishing success in 2021 and beyond. Now remember, what works for you might not work for someone else, and what works for someone else might not work for you. So this is one of those business models where it's important to just experiment and keep testing, and most importantly, have fun with this. You should enjoy this process. I know there are going to be some parts of the process that aren't quite as enjoyable as others, like the research portion. I think most of us can agree that that's not the most fun portion of this, but you need to enjoy the process overall. If not, then this probably isn't for you, and that is totally okay. If you decide that low content publishing isn't for you, that's great. That means you're going to be freed up to pursue something else that really does get you excited and really does put a smile on your face. For the rest of us, for those that are in it for the long haul, I wish you lots of success on your low content publishing journey this year and for many, many years down the road. Thanks so much for watching, and if you'd like to find out more about how you can generate some passive income selling journals, planners, notebooks, and more on the Kindle Direct publishing platform, then be sure to download my free guide, 3 Steps to Publishing Your First Low Content Book in Less Than a Day. I've left a link to that in the description below. Also check out my free Facebook group, Low Content Profits. There's a link to that below as well. Check out these videos next for more low content publishing tips. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and share with your friends. Thanks for watching.